post this after I'm done, because every class that we do, there's always something to learn. Yeah, you passed 15K prop account. That's so good. Would that be phase 1 or phase 2? And if it's phase 1, walk it slower for phase 2, okay? And past prop for full prop firm account. That's so good. That's a very good. It's so amazing to see, and I'm happy that you're reaping the fruit of the mentorship. And just make sure it's not about passing, right? It's about keeping it for the long term. I'm always building traders up for the long term. Okay. Peeps Park First is joining from Ghana. Oh, how's it going in Ghana? I should be in Ghana very soon. Anyways, I should be in Ghana very soon. Let's see. Um, yeah, it's so good, so good, so good. It's good to be here on live. Just want to give you guys a breakdown of the market, because again, I have to reemphasize that I'm not a signal provider. If I've said this from the very day one, but I've been also busy as well, so I don't really have much time to come on live to kind of talk to you guys and break down the market. I haven't posted a video on YouTube this year, but I've done a couple lives on YouTube this year, but not posted a video. So I should be doing something very soon. And I've been doing a lot behind the scenes. We've been having our mentorship. I think this year I'm going to record a lot of 5-figure trader. This year, I think we did a lot of work, ending last year with some of our students. So we're beginning to see like the results right now. And that is super incredible. I've got like students doing multiple 5-figures on their personal accounts. And I just feel like I don't post this enough. I think I would be much more active now to kind of like show you guys that, not for the sake of just to show you guys, but to motivate you guys to see that this works. And maybe when I hit my target later this year, maybe if I do that early, I'm going to reveal my portfolio to you guys. Because a lot of you guys you guys are trying to calculate, but I'm not one of those guys that you can just kind of read what they are worth, because of what they post. I barely post on my social media right now. My Instagram is not even active. But the purpose of this game is just for freedom, okay, guys? It's just like for freedom, right? And it doesn't matter how much you're making or how much you're making. What really matters is, are you able to get out of the whole matrix and the rat race and able to empower yourself? You know what I mean? So that is what this is for. And real wealth is really silent, right? So I know some of you guys that have been with me since the days of, the Maserati days, right? When I used to, show off with the Maseratis and all of that. But, life is about phases, right? You graduate phases and you grow, and your priority changes, and you focus more on accumulating assets and all of that. And I try my best to just kind of reprogram everyone in my community to be less flashy, live below your means, and just build your future. Just build your future, right? And just focus on that. So it's incredibly part of me, right? Trading is primary, but I love to, encourage you guys to just have the right psychology, because all of this really tie with your personal life, right? If you are ostentatious in real life, you're gonna see it reflecting in trading. Right? If you're greedy in real life, no matter the quantity of your greed, is gonna reflect in trading. So I want you to not trade just to make money. In fact, most of the time when you trade to make money, you won't make money. But the moment you had a deeper purpose to trading, then you become so fluid. No loss, really affect you. And, when you make profits, it's not a big deal. You're grateful for it, but you're not all over the place, right? So I think this is very important. And, I'm working on something behind the scenes right now, which is going to be mind blowing. So sometimes around March or maybe ending of February, a lot of you guys are going to kind of see it. And, but I'm building something that would really, really last a long time, and, I'm just think of it as building a system that even though you're the worst trader in the world, you can come into that system and you can be rest assured that you're going to come out the best. So I'm working with my team right now across board, and some of my teams are not even here in Canada. They are in different parts, and we've been strategizing, as and it's going to be a very great one. So a very big um happy new month to some of you guys I haven't spoken to and stuff. So for us to proceed, I want to say how many of you guys are in on this trade? Let me see how many of you guys are in on this trade. I know some of you guys will start joining when the trade starts to act like it's gonna move. Some of you guys don't even trust the market enough. How many of you guys are on this trade? If you're on this trade, let me see. Yes, 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 yes in the chart. Let me see you guys. Okay. Okay. Seems like there's a lot of us in on this trade that want to take this trade. And did you take do you take the trade after I dropped it? I always advise that you know, um you guys, I always advise that when I drop a trade, I'm not dropping it for the purpose of signal, okay? But I know, like, when I drop a trade, more than 300 people just take the trade. The goal is for you to, if you've been through my YouTube, at least you should start having some kind of like knowledge on how the market works, and you can look at what I dropped and you can compare, because sometimes I enter like way earlier, right? Most, like, for example, most of the trade I get in, I entered first on mine. I would never post a trade I'm not in, right? So because of that, I entered the trade first, then I post it later. So we could be on the same trade and you could be doing 1:3 and I'm doing 1:6 because, I'm in earlier, right? So I think it's very important for everyone to have that independence, right? I think it's very important for everyone to get to a point where you are so confident in your capacity, to enter a trade. If you're just joining us, just let me know what country you're joining me from, okay? I'd love to know the different part of the world you guys are joining me. We have people in about 9, 10 countries right now, so you can keep dropping the update in there. So we're going to look at the markets in minutes, and what I do is just beyond just teaching you guys technical know-hows and all of that. I love to bring you guys into like a deep level of understanding of the market. I love to speak in terms of the psychological part of trading, because that's what trading is, right? A lot of, you know, you guys will be very confident about the setup, and once it's time for you to execute, you find yourself second guessing. How many of you guys can relate to that, right? You find this, you find yourself second guessing, and the market is moving right in front of you, and you're just so frozen. You've anticipated this trade for a long time, but you don't have company, especially after you've taken a loss. How many of you guys can relate to that? So, and this is and that is the real part of trading, right? The real part of trading is not you drawing things on the chart. It's about what you know in your mind and how you can interpret it on the chart, right? And this is what it's all about, right? So, what we're gonna do now is, we're gonna look at the market, and we're gonna, perhaps maybe I'm gonna take this off, and you know, I I just don't like to say, oh, let's look up. No, let's tell the story of the market, because I want you guys to have an understanding of what the market is doing, what it has done, and what it will do. And that is how I can bring out the best in this. If not, I'm just going to waste my time and talk about the trade I entered and all of that. But I want you guys to live this life with a very real value, right? So, with that being said, so I'm just gonna take this out a bit. We got in around the 208.185 level, right? But let's look at the market and let's look at the behavior of the markets. Let's have a deeper insight into what the market is doing. And I can see some of my students are here. I'm so proud of you guys though. Like a lot of you guys are on fire this year. And that's from the metric of things with that momentum and consistent guidance. A lot of people, I think this year we're going to make a lot of 5-figure traded than we've ever made. So, and then we can set the bar high, get into 6-figure trader. And when I say 5-figure trader, I mean 5-figure on the trade, not in a year. Okay. I know some of you guys that are doing that right now. We have a spam right now in the group. So I'm just going to get this guy out. At this your big age, you are still at this your big age, you are still just gonna kick this guy out. You are still telling people to buy signal. You must be crazy. We are out here teaching people how to fish for themselves, That's what we're doing. We're teaching people how to fish for themselves. You are here telling people about signal. If you had done that maybe 3-4 years ago, maybe that would have been fashionable. But right now, everyone wants to become, a good trader, right? So stop spamming this place up with your 100% accuracy trading. There's no trading that is 100% accurate, by the way. So you're gonna make loss. Part of trading is learning how to count your loss. Anyways, let's not get distracted. Let me take all the spam off real quick, and then we can get started in there. Okay. So now let's look at the markets. Okay. It's very good to look at the market. And, I'm going to give you some very insane prediction. And honestly, if you're very, very smart, you would make some money on this prediction. Remember, I've called different levels that the market eats effortlessly. I called the 215 level. Now we can buy this trade to even as much as 215, right? Right now, this next buy move, we smash the 215 level. I'm very confident of that. You know what I mean? So, just a second, I'm trying to get the spam off of this, off of this. And I would like to say to you guys, don't join any signal group. Some of you guys, you're on different group. You're on SwingTradeFX, you're on this FX and that FX. In one head, you can go crazy. You can go crazy, right? So stop doing that. Silence the noise. Focus on one community, or focus on one methodology, or focus on one mentor, and let that mentor teach you everything they know. One thing about me is I'm going to teach you everything that you need. The market is big enough for all of us to eat right now. We are all buying this trade together. Think about that, right? It's a $7.3 trillion market. I'm not even going to make 0.1% of that money, right? Whatever percentage of what I'm making is like 0.0 to the infinite 0.1, right? So it's very, very important. So let's look at the markets. And this is how I want you guys to think. And I'm doing this for free, by the way, right? And when you look at the markets, it's very imperative that you start from the higher time frame. Depending on what you call the higher time frame is super relative, right? It could be the daily, it could be the weekly, it could be the monthly. In fact, if you're that crazy, you could go into 6 months chart, right? And I would typically use those 6 month chart to analyze some of the stocks I want to invest into, right? So also, if you're a technical trader, honestly, you have an edge to become a very good stock investor. That's a secret for another day. So, once we look at the higher time frame, what the higher time frame does is the higher time frame is going to give you a very big projection of where the market is going. By the way, some of my traders here, my students here are very good stock investor right now, because once I train you to make money, I also teach you how to use that money to make more money. And that's a quiet part of me that I don't share, right? All my students must be investors. None of my students make money to go buy car. No, instead of buying a car, buy the stock of that company, make more money. So yes, let's look at what we have right here. You see, where the market is going, when you want to analyze the market, you want to see the market from the very big, perspective. Because a lot of you guys, I see a lot of people saying the market is selling and selling. Is because you have not been able to integrate the bigger picture, with a smaller picture, right? So the first thing I want to see right now is I want to be able to understand where the current market price is at. I see that the current market price is right here. This is very key for me. Then from the current market price, what I want to do is I want to walk it back into the historical data and use those history to kind of project where the market is going. And there's nothing really as efficient as understanding that this market is headed towards the upside. So you can literally look at the market right now. You can tell where the market is going. It's bullish, right? But that is you just looking at it from a trend standpoint. There's another better way to confidently say this is where the market is going, right? It's only when you do that and you look at that through the lens of the structure, right? And I'm giving you guys major games that you would never find. I know some of you guys go to other group, you will never find it anywhere, because even most of your mentors don't even know, right? The best way to know where the market is going, you can write this down, it's very important, is to be able to perceive the market from a structural standpoint. And what does that mean? What does that mean? I can look at the market right now and say the market is going on a buy. Okay. I can look at the market right now and say the market is going on a buy because I can see the trend. It's obvious to anyone to see. You don't have to be a trader to see that. Or I can actually say, okay, let me look at the structural progression of the market and why the market is on a buy. So what does that look like? It looks more like this, like the market is right here at this pinnacle, and the market starts to go down from June 2007, and it starts to give me a downward trend indicated by downward structure. And what happened? There was a shift in the character of the market. Simple. When the market shifted, it could not. Remember, if you've been in my boot camp, my students, and maybe if you pay attention to my YouTube, by now you know when the market shifts character in a direction, the level of force that was needed to shift this character is not enough to sustain that move. So there have to be another phase of, in this case, buyers coming, which is what we usually will refer to as discount, right? So it's not technical, it's just psychological. And what do I mean? If you are to jump over a drainage, right? And you land with your first leg, how long more? Let me know in the chat box. Let's have a conversation. How soon do you need the second leg for support? Is it very soon, or just that one leg can continue walking? Let me know in the chat box real quick. I just want to know that you guys are engaging, that you guys are really hearing what I'm saying. You guys are internalizing it, right? If you find a drainage right in front of you and you jump across the drainage, how soon or how long do you need your second leg to support the first leg that landed? The answer is very obvious, right? It's almost immediately you need to be supported. And this is what happens with market as well. It requires a lot of energy, right? To cause that shift in character. Anytime the market wants to shift in character, the force is really, really a brute force that at some point they get exhausted. And that is when you hear me use the word exhaustion, that is what you get there. You're going to have push, exhaustion, push, exhaustion. So that was what happened. And what happened? The market continues to go back up. So now we can now touch up on specific point right here and say, after the market shifted the structure right here, are you guys following me? So we call it change of structure, change of character, whatever name, suits it. The market made a high right here. And after the high, the market got to that pinnacle. The market made a low right here for the second phase of the buyers to get in. For the second phase of the buyers to get in. So we have this as a low, right? We have the high. And after the market picked up right from these two levels, then we have this high broken right at this level. And that is what we call the breaker structure. So I don't want you to just be using these terms because, it's popular for traders to use it. I want you to kind of create a mental picture, okay, of what is going on, because your profitability is in the simplicity of the market. It doesn't have to be hard. In a world where everyone is trying to be deep, be simple, okay? That's how you get results. The simplicity of everything, okay? There's nothing institutional about this. There's no institutional order, market, whatever. People just make up this bullshit, right? And, institutional order, people are just trying to feed their ego. This thing is very easy. So now that we know that there's a break of structure, so it's now perfectly explain why the market is going up. Notice how we saw what is going on from a structural standpoint. Now, this is way more reliable source of information. So now that the market is going up, there are a few places that the market is going to get to and kind of say, you know what, I got to be able to rest here, which is this area of resistance, right? And when you hear me say that the market is coming to 215, this is what I mean. And I'm going to give you a prediction, right, on a monthly time frame, okay? And you can bookmark this and say, yeah, me said so, right? The markets later on in the year is probably going to be headed towards 251 level. And you can go back and for you fundamental traders that are here, you can go back to looking at Japanese economy and British economy, and you can be able to tell, right, that the Japanese economy is in trouble this year, right? But here's how that is going to happen. I'm not just going to give you a vague idea of what the market would do, but I'm going to try to give you like a real idea of what the market would do. So what you will see going forward would be the market, at some point, the market is going to come back to retesting this level and the market's going to keep moving up to the upside, right? This is very sure. This is going to happen. Whatever you do with that information now is up to you, okay? So now that we know where the market is going, now the market is not just going to come here directly. Of course, from a monthly perspective, all of this market could end up being very bullish by the end of this month because this trade is still running and we're almost at the middle of the month, right? So this every candlestick represents 1 month, right? So what we can see here is that the market is making its move to the upside, right? And when you now start to tell the story easily, you could tell that what the market did here was finding the previous area of support resistance turning into a support. And you can see the market after it broke the structure, it broke the structure, the market retraced back, finding this previous area of support, resistance, turning it into support right at this point, and the market has been going off. And that's all the information that I need on the monthly time frame. Okay, that's all the information that you need on the monthly time frame. So now that we have an understanding of that, you just want to come to the weekly time frame. So of course, it's very important for you to kind of note those support levels where the market was reaching. So right here, we're just gonna have it tagged as all of this level right here from this point right here, and we have the market rejecting this point, right? So from a weekly time frame perspective, and in order to be able to see things more clearly, you could just identify those level out, and you kind of have an idea of the fact that the market is on the monthly support, right? I always advise that you write it down because out of sight is out of mind, right? So because you are dealing with strong data, right? You're dealing with strong data. So you don't want to keep anything in your mind. You just want to make sure that you do it the right way, right? So now that we have this being done, so what we want to do on the weekly time frame is just keep walking that information through. Then all the little details will start to come in. Okay, now we are clear that the market is going here, but there are some details that I really want to get as well. One of the details is this one right here, that after the market offered us this BOS, breaker structure right here at this level, it gave us a new high before it retraced, and the high was right here at this level. And after the market retraced back to this support level, it went back to break the high. So right now we have a breaker structure, right? And if you kind of draw it across it at beads, you can see that the market is retesting that level right now. So it kind of explains what the market is doing. So it's very important for us to identify that. So I'm just going to put this right here, and we have our previous area of support, resistance, on support, right? So this is how we want to do on the weekly time frame. And on the weekly time frame, you want to read the flow of the market as well, right? So when the market was dropping, look at the market drop a small treacherous level close right here. I've taught some of you guys how to read the market momentum, right? That every single week and candlestick, represent an information in the markets, right? The market gave us that push again. Remember, the push that needed to change the character of the market most of the time do not sustain. Of course, there are some exemptions, but exemption does not define the rule. So now, now would I have this pushback, and we have the market continue to move as you can see. What do we have right here? From this high as well that the market got to right here, do you see that? The market broke it and retested. So it's very important for us to identify that out as well. So what we're doing is we're just enjoying the flow of the information that we're getting off of the market. We're telling stories, right? And my goal for everyone here is to be so good at this that you can always tell the story regardless of the outcome. Even when you take a loss, it's a healthy loss because it teaches you something new. It increases your, expertise level as well, right? So this is a weekly level right here, and you just want to identify the weekly level. And the very beautiful thing I want you guys to see here is that when the market bounces off this level, look the kind of reaction it created. When the market bounced off of this level, look at the reaction it created. So what we are doing right now is we are just walking the market back to understand what's going on. So let's move to the daily time frame to go find some very good information on the market. So from a daily time frame perspective, we can have this our daily, previous area resistance stone support right here. And what do we have right here? We identify this level out. So first of all, you just looking at what we've done on the monthly and weekly time frame, it tells you that the market is going up to the upside, right? Let me know in the chat box if you guys are feeling the flow of this. Does it feel technical or it feels like a story time? Let me know. Let me know in the comment section. I take feedback very seriously, and I want everyone in here to give me feedback of if they're following or not. Let me know. I'm just going to pause. I'm going to read through the comments. Just going to pause and read through the comments. You can either trade Forex as a big deal, or you can either trade it as just a script and you tell the story, right? Your goal is to make Forex look easy, right? Make Forex look easy. Your goal is not to be technical and your chart is so, in fact, sometimes one of the first things I do for all my students is I detoxify their mentality, right? I think that's one of the hardest things to do, to rewire a human being. So trading is not technical. It's more of storytelling. It's so relative, right? So, and just make it look good so that even when you're not. So let me tell you, one of the reasons why it's very good to look at the market from this perspective, right, is because once you story tell the market, the picture is in your mind. So it's easy for you to set and forget. Does that make sense? If you can story tell, it's like you have this picture in your mind of why you are on the trade. It's easy for you to set and forget the trade. But if everything is overly technical, sometimes you don't even know, right? You plunge into this realm of like randomness, hoping that the market does this, hoping that the market does that, right? And that is what it is. So now, let's look at what the market has done. It has turned this previous area of support, resistance into support, as you guys can see right here. So I'm reading through the comments. Someone says storytelling. It feels like the storytelling, intuitive, you're the best. Whatever it is that you see me doing right now, you guys can do it as well, right? And then very important for me to also say this. Some people, overestimate trading because it feeds their ego. I'm not one of those people. At the end of the day, we are all just downloading money from using our phone or our computer, right? So there's no big deal in what I'm doing. There was a time I never knew what a tip was, right? So don't let anyone just kind of over glorify themselves in this industry to you and make you want to look up to them, that they are the main character and you don't matter, right? I want you to know that that's a very big fat lie. It's just people trying to, feed their ego. Whatever you see I'm doing right now, you can do it. All you need is just very good practice, okay? It's not really a big deal. So now I've been able to identify this level right here, and it kind of makes sense to me. So the next thing I want to do again is I just want to read through the structure and walk it all the way to the top. So we have the markets going through this level, and one thing you're going to see right here is that also this high that the market pushed, after the market pushed on this level, it broke that high, and notice how that high also gave us the previous resistance zone support. So it also tells me a story of where the market is at, right? So I have this previous high on support, and structurally that level also command the structure. So then notice this was the last point where the market got to before this market, went fly. Okay. So you want to tell the story of the market. So literally what we've been doing is, or let me identify this. So I'm just gonna call it the daily level. And why is it the daily level? Because those are the significant area of interest whereby the market break a level, hit that level, and send prices to the upside. So when you look at the structure from this point, you could tell that the market is giving higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. All of this went up, retraced to 61.8, and it makes sense why the market came all the way to the down part. And and ending last week, I took a trade to sell because I saw that really happening, right? And and I think it's very important to talk about this because you just don't learn from what is working. Also, anything not working is also a feedback. Unfortunately, people kind of, are so shy to share what didn't work. I don't know, maybe the society makes people feel like a failure when something isn't working out, especially when you're considered an authority in that field and people look up to you in that field. And, you find yourself in this, ego driven, world that you've created for yourself. But I'm not like that. I'm going to share you my wins and I'm going to share you my losses. And the good thing is this, right? I feel like if you make healthy, income off of trading and your win is beautiful, you shouldn't be afraid to share a loss because for every one loss I make, you know, I take four wins. Like I take 4-step wins. So for every -1 risk reward, my next trade is probably going to be 1:4, 1:5. So you have nothing to be shy about. And that's the true reality of trading. And that's why I love to show you guys so that you don't see that it's only win, win, win. When I make it feel like it's only win, 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 and I'm not transparent with you, it messes with your psychology because on the days you take losses, you think that you're doing something wrong, but it is part of the nature of trading. So it's just the only issue is never let your loss outgrow your win. But when you have a very good working strategy, like what I use and what I teach, your win rate is high because your risk reward for every trade you close, is high. Like for example, this trade should give one ratio 4.6, So think about it. I took -1 and at the beginning of this week, I closed in some profit on the trade I closed in the past. And now when I do this one, guess what? Each my target has superseded it for the week, right? So that's the true nature of trading. So reverting back to what I was saying, I took a sell and I saw that this market is coming down, right? But before I talk about that one, let's look at the structure of the market again so that you don't lose your train of thought, right? Look at the market, got getting to this level, gave us a double exhaustion right here. And that was the reason why I picked that trade. And aside from why I picked that trade, I'm always asking questions, okay? The reason why I believe, I got so good in trading. First of all thanks to God, right? But I would say that one of the things that really helped me is I ask question why, you know, and maybe one day I'm going to bring some of my students into my personal journal, trading journal. It's a cloud journal, right? And so that you can kind of see how over the years I've documented. I'm always asking questions. Why did this happen? Why did that happen? Oh, why did this drop? Why did it happen in this scenario? Why didn't it happen in this scenario? Every new discovery starts with a question, basically. So I think this is a very good habit I think you should learn, especially as a trader. You can really get stuck as a trader. And most of the time when you're stuck, it doesn't feel like you're stuck. It feels like you're busy. You wake up the next day, you do the same thing, you get the same result, and you're in that cycle. So you're like, oh, I've been trading for 3 years. No, you've just been doing the same thing for 3 years. You've been living the same life for 3 years, right? So, and trading doesn't answer to time, right? So I'm always asking, why is this happening? Why is that happening? So most of my journal, you're going to see why. I take a screenshot of that, I put why. When I see it another time again, I'm like, oh, I've documented this. I type, the thread in, why? So the question now is, if you now want to think in that way, the question is, since the market is going to the upside, definitely we know there are going to be shorter pullbacks and longer pullbacks. There will always be those pullbacks like this one, right? Look at this pullback. You would have thought the market is selling, but look at it, right? And this is something similar that we want to have here. So the question is why? You should be able to answer why. Don't just assume the market is going to drop. Know the reason why. Why is it dropping? And the answer is very simple. I say this a lot. Many things I say to you guys, if you really pay attention to it, it's going to help you become a better trader. When you're trading the market, always look to the left. Okay. So I love to look to the left to go see what is going on. So I know that the market is coming to 215.866, but there are some very tiny, stubborn, levels that may send market back down. And unfortunately, or maybe fortunately for us, for me, I could see that level right here. So when you come to this level, go back, because the point is this market doesn't move randomly. Do you see that level? If this makes sense to you, or if this has answered a major question you're trading, let me know in the chat box. I'm gonna wait to read your text. If this has answered perhaps a question you had that you didn't even ask, let me know. Let me know. Let me know. If you're in a hurry to leave, please just exit. I'm taking my time. I sweet time with, you guys. It's already late already, so there's no point. And shout out to the person named Gil, because I know it's about to be 1 a.m. in Alberta, right? So now you should always ask the why. So now it makes sense. So for some of you guys that saw that I was selling last week, you now see the reason why I'm selling. And notice that the market smashed my area of, where I was selling. Unfortunately, I got out because, I wasn't just feeling the trade, and I just wanted to have a new, refreshed, eye towards the market. And that's why I got up. But it's okay, that happens. The point of trading is, if you don't feel confident about a trade, regardless if it's in profit or loss, just honestly close it. And there are some trades that you're like, I feel confident, have defined my risk, just let me set and forget, right? So that was the reason why I had that sell trade. And later on, I saw a buy opportunity, which I'm going to talk about when I get to the 4-hour time frame. So you kind of see what is going on in the market right now. And you can see that when you bring your Fibonacci from this level right here to this level, you can see that the market is still, these are zones, right? These are zones where the market rejects around. So the markets, it's broken the 16.8 zone, but anywhere from 16.8 to 78.6, right? The market might reject around that point. So what the market did was come back right to this level to come retest this previous area resistance, turn into a support, and you can see the market might be knocking off to, kind of give us a close back into this level and continuous journey to the upside. And that is all. So if you have done this context, kind of look at the context of the market, you would have known that regardless of how hard this sales feels like, right? It is not a sell. It's not a representation of the whole market, right? Just like the same thing right here. It just takes one candlestick. It just takes this candlestick right here to change everything. Just like this one. How many of you guys remember this trade? We sold this trade together. If you remember this trade, right? Look at this. It felt like the market was falling hard. When you take it to the daily time frame or the 4 hours time frame, just look at that sell, right? If you had seen this, you probably think the market is going down. And this is the beauty of the higher time frame, right? The higher time frame just tell you that listen, and yes, the market is going down, but it's not going down for too long. So your job is to position yourself to know the next level is going to get to and just buy. Simple. So bring it to the 4 hours time frame. So now what do we have on the 4 hours time frame? Right? We've seen the reason why the market is going back. We know that the market is coming here next. All we have to do is to position ourselves for the next move, which what? We have this area of resistance right here. And, we have this 61.8 level right here as well, right? And, if we want to look at it deeply as well, from a 4 hour time frame perspective, we have the structure go all the way to this level. Then you start to have another structure right here that came all the way to this point, rejected right here, went back right here and rejected. So I can as well use this Fibonacci right here. And the market is sitting at a 78.6. So this kind of makes sense for me. So you see the reason why I actually took that trade earlier. So now this makes perfect sense right now that the market is sitting in between both levels. So that means from this previous resistance right here and this level, right, depending on how you want to do it, you can decide to, add this level together as your zone of, of the market, kind of giving all that rejection. So it kind of makes sense to us now what the market is doing. And for me, that's enough confirmation for me. And I just want to get into this trade, right? So let's go to the 1 hour time frame. So my job now is just to keep going down to lower time frame and, just get details. I want to have a feel of all this move, right? I want to have a feel of all that move. So what do I do? It's very simple. I come back to the 1 hour time frame. What do I want to get on the 1 hour time frame? Just a second. Hey, let me just take this off. Yep. So what do I really want to do on the 1 hour time frame? The 1 hour time frame is when I want to now see the pattern. At the end of every structure, there's always going to be those shifts in structure, and you can see going on already. So the 1 hour time frame, we took our trade right here. I took my trade pinpoint right to this level. The moment the market gave me this, I knew any moment from there the market was good, and I had my stop loss right here behind this low to kind of give me a very comfortable level right there. Now, I'm going to teach you something about execution, right? And I was very specific that this was going to be a very big swing trade. You can even take it all the way to the stop, but anywhere from this resistance, I'm good. I just want to get out. And this will be just my only trade this week. Now think about that, right? 1:4.6 for me. Some people are even going to get 1:5 depending on where you enter this trade, but the market's going up. So at the time when I got into the market, right, this other one hasn't happened. I could care less about that, honestly. But look at what really happened on the 1 hour time frame. You can see that when the market broke this level, now this is where I want to take you deeper into details, okay? You guys pay attention. When the market broke that level, look at what the market did. It retested that level. I could have sent a trade to this level, but I feel like I was just lazy this week. I just want to wait for the swing, ride it, and instead I forget, right? There are some weeks like that you don't really have that, energy to do, So the moment the market did this, based off of my experience in the market, I know that what the market is trying to do is trying to break the force the market was using. So, if you attended my boot camp, I kind of touched on that. I was going to talk about momentum, by result that much. So if you have not taken any of my boot camp program, I think this is a very good opportunity. I deposited thousands of dollars worth of knowledge in just and I made it accessible, and I did it exactly for people who can afford my premiums, right? Because my course is not for everyone, honestly. So I think Bootcamp 4.0, right? And Bootcamp 2, 3, 4. Those three bootcamp, probably 4.0, maybe might be my last bootcamp I'm going to do because I'm transitioning into something else. So I'd recommend you 100%. Just think about it this way. Every single day I spend in the market, I'm learning something new. Like I said, if I expose you to my journaling, you'll realize that there's a reason why I explain the market effortlessly like this. I put in so much work in learning. I have my dedicated time during the day that I use in learning the market. I just sit in front of the market and what can I know again? And I want you guys to have that habit as well. Like, what is there to know again? What is there to know? And it's so crazy because after many, many years, almost a decade of trading, there was something that I discovered on support and resistance yesterday that blew my mind, that even my other trader friend that's been trading for almost a decade was like, it's unbelievable. And that is something about the market. There's always something to learn. Even if you're 30 years in the game, you will learn something new, right? As very literal and as plain support and resistance, I could not believe I could discover that. Then I back tested, right? I looked at the market, I back tested. I was like, what the heck is this? If I had known this many years ago, honestly, there were some trades that I would have hazed easily, right? But that is how the market is. So it's very important. Think about it. Every year I'm upgrading, just like an iOS. I'm new version every time. Some of you guys, if you watch me trade 3 years ago, it might still have the same flavor, but it's really different right now. Even last year, right now. So that is it. You must constantly be improving. And as I'm improving, my goal in bootcamp is just to dump something new again, dump a different approach. So if gotten 2.0 is something different than 3.0. I think 3.0 was more psychology phase. 4.0 was more, I think, I would say technical phase. So now we have this level right here, and the market is sitting down on this level. So the moment this happened, I came to lower time frame. My goal is to see if the market is going to break, in momentum right here. And the market did just that. I'm always executing on my 50 minutes time frame. So the moment the market gave me this retest and, came down and started to move in this manner, that was when I knew that, okay, I think the momentum might be getting down here, right? The momentum of the market, I believe, might be getting down right here. So now let's look at the market right now, or where the market is at right now. So what has the market done? It's very simple. The market came to that level, came back down, created another previous area of support right here. And you can see when the market got to that previous area of support right here, what do you see? It retested back and it sent the market back to this area of prayer resistance. And now it seems to us that we are now having, the buyers coming right to this level. I would love to see, I would love to see more momentum coming, but so far the market is looking really clean. So what do we have right here? I saw that the market had broken this level. Okay. So it's a very good indication that the counter trend that's broken as well. So I'm just kind of putting some added confirmations together, right? So what I would love to see here is, sorry. So what I would love to see here is I would love to see a further move to the upside. I would love to see a further move to the upside, then the market break off this previous area of resistance or support right here, turning to resistance. Once we have that final break, the market is on an express trip, to the top. How the market is gonna get there is none of your business. Just know the market is gonna get there, set and forget. The problem is many of you guys love to track or you kind of create a mental picture of how you want the market to move. The market doesn't move how you want it to move. Your job is to spot those specific level where the market will start moving from and execute. So don't look at it. So this trade, I'm in on this trade and I'm locked in on this trade. I love to see how this trade goes. And when you come back to the 30 minutes, we already have this break right here. So we might be also be having a retest, let's see how that goes. On the 1 hour, we don't have any break right here. So let's see how this goes. And, as you all know, of GJ, most of, and this is what I call the quantitative data, where you've noticed the pattern with the market. So most of Monday and Tuesday trades are just continuation of, Friday trades, right? But then once the market is done with the cycle of that trade opportunity, usually Wednesday, Thursday, in my own time zone, Wednesday, the market, give us an opportunity. So this might be the opportunity this week, and market is finding this level of interest here in the market. So this trade right now, we're locked in on this trade. Our entry still remains right here. Sorry. Our entry is still right here on this level. I will give the market room for it to breathe, right? Now, let me talk on something about, someone asked me a question earlier, which, was quite a bit funny, right? Was quite a bit funny. So this was my entry. We're just in a little early phase of profits. It's not even a lot. It's just a little tiny. So now the question is, a lot of people are still caught up thinking that they have to set tight stop loss. Of course, you've seen some of my trade where some of my stop loss are so tiny and the market just hit me and I'm up 1-7, 1-6. But again, just like different fighters makes the outcome of the fight, different trade opportunity defines how you should set your stop loss. My stop loss is always set behind strategic highs and lows. It's not just every highs and lows, but strategic high and low as driven by my structure, right? Now, how do you calculate this, right? It's very simple. Use your position sizing calculator. Now, for this one right now, look at this. This is a 1 ratio. This is a 1:5. No, not 1:5. 1:4.6 risk rewards for me. Now, my goal, I don't look at the numbers of stop loss. Okay. My goal is how can if I say, for example, I want to reach $20, which is maybe 2% of my account, my goal would be how do I convert this 142 pips into $20, which is 2% of my account. So most people think because the stop loss is big, I'm not going to take the trade. It means more risk. That means you don't even understand how to even quantify risk in trading. You should always use your position sizing. Okay. So whether the stop loss is 1,000 pips or it's just 10 pips, it doesn't change the fact that I'm risking 1 to 2% of my total portfolio, right? It doesn't matter. Okay. And once you understand that you have a lot of liberty, then you start to understand that the market will always give different opportunities and you are not in charge of defining those opportunities. So I watch some people say, oh, I only take trades with 10 stop loss. I'm like, this is absolute nonsense, right? That is not how trading works. There are some days my stop loss is 15 pips. There are some days my stop loss like this one is 142 pips. What matters in trading is risk reward. This is what you need to focus on, risk reward. That means for every risk I'm taking, I'm looking to make 4.67. If I'm risking 5,000 on this trade, I'm looking at maybe $22,000 or $24,000, right? If I'm risking 2,000, I'm looking at maybe $9,000. So risk reward is what matters. As far as your risk reward is above 1:2, use your position sizing knowledge. Go into one of my YouTube video. I talked about you can use your position sizing tools, by the way, but you can calculate it manually as well. right? Because I'm a very curious person, I wanted to know how to people calculate it, right? And I think I explained it on one of my videos for free, right? For free, right? So I want you guys to go into that and just go understand this. So it's not all the time you're gonna find 10 pips risk trade. It's not all the time you're gonna find, oh, this has to be 10 pips. Some people I even hear people say the way I take my trade, I just said 10 pips stop loss, 15 pips stop loss. I'm like, you don't get to determine, the value of your pips. You the market defines that so it based on the opportunity. Your job is to adjust your risk to the peak value that the market gives to you. Does this help anyone? Let me know in the chat box. Does anyone find this really helpful? Let me know. So here we go. You can see how I've been able to walk that trade through, right? For some of you guys that you probably took this trade, you're not confident in the trade. I believe that this will really kind of offer some perspective, you know, for you, and you're going to be able to see it for what it is, right? And like I said, if you're here and you're struggling with trading and all of that, I have different, programs for you, and you don't have to. And also, you don't have to come to me. Just look for someone that you resonate with, that is available, that this person have the knowledge, not just showing screenshot. I don't like showing screenshots in my community because it ruins the purpose. If I show you a screenshot that I was making $40,000, it feels too high up there, or 60,000. It feels like it's gonna take you a lot to achieve it. But if you know that this trade is 1:5 and you also hit your TP at 1:5, it put things in perspective that right now maybe I might have more bigger account and bigger risk than you, but in terms of effort, we are doing the same thing. It's gonna give you hope, you know. So I hope this is gonna, help you guys, and watch out for what I have coming by March. I want to build one of the most valuable community in Forex space. And I've been brainstorming. I'm working with a whole team. I had to hire a whole team to consult for me. And I want to do this. It's never going to be signal. I want a situation that people are not consistent, and that will be targeted towards traders that are not consistent. If you're a beginner, go read baby peeps, go take courses, but majority of the population in Forex industry, like 80%, they know, they are familiar with trading, but they are not able to make money out of trading. Do you get what I mean? So inconsistent, frustrated trader is my primary target. So we are still working on the structure. It's going to launch very soon, and perhaps that might be the only the only thing I'm going to do. Perhaps I may not host bootcamp anymore. I may not host any other thing anymore, and I'm just going to focus on that and just build this community. I want to build like a private community, and I want to see how I can expand that all over the world, like in Africa, in North America. It's one of my biggest projects, and I'd love to see how that goes. Does anyone have any question before I call it a night? Let me know real quick. Do you have any question? This is your golden opportunity. Some of you guys, I know you send me texts and, I barely respond. I prioritize my student first, okay? But think about it, I get like thousands of messages every day. So it's not fair. What are we to expect for the community? So just think about it, that I think one of the biggest issue in trading is loneliness, right? And Forex trading is not a kind of business that you want to do alone, right? You guys can, you guys understand that Forex trading is not something that you can do alone. So I'm trying to build this community that I have all kinds of traders. I'm gonna have my friends in there that are trading, that years of experience, made crazy money. I'm gonna have all kinds. My students have trained, you know, and what I need you to expect from it is just a trading development community. A lot of people have community, but it's signal focused. And I've tried that with war room and all of that. But think about it. If I decide not to show up today, I want you to still be able to confidently, reach your financial goal. So that's what the community is going to be for, a full trading. And one of the favorite parts or the favorite idea that we're still working on is called the traders therapy. It's going to be one of the sessions that is going to be in there. It's called the traders therapy, something like that. Traders therapy session. I think that's going to be crazy. A lot of you guys, probably figure me out first on YouTube because of my psychology teaching. A lot of you guys are really, really sticking with me because you feel like this guy explained Forex trading from a psychological standpoint. And that is one of the strengths that we're looking to leverage. And it's exciting, right? I can't really say much, but we have some things coming. And, this is going to really work out very well because it's value focused, not signal, no signal whatsoever. Someone says it is a day for us. Oh, it means day. Someone says, how do I get back to your private community? I lost my old Telegram account. I was a student and SwingTradeFX private community. You have to send me a screenshot that you were in there before, and we'll see how we get it done and all of that. Right. Any other questions at all? A very good opportunity. If you want to go away, I'm done with the analysis. I'm just trying to take a few questions. So if not, I'm gonna ask the question to some of you guys that have been through my, mentorship, book and whatever. How genuinely, and I don't want you to kind of give me an answer that's in a hype. No, I don't want hype. I don't need anybody's hype or validation whatsoever. But genuinely, how would you say your trading and your life has transformed since you came in contact with my content? Yeah, that's a very, very important question for me. Since you came in contact with my content, whether it's a video on YouTube, whether it's my Instagram, I would just say, what difference would you say it has made in your life generally and in your trading? So someone said, what's the cost of, I don't have a private community right now. I'm working on that right now. But for my mentorship, you can go to my website, SwingTradeFX.com. If your goal is to learn how to trade, you to get a freedom course. So my question is, since you came in contact with my content, like how would you say it has transformed your trading and generally? Someone says life transforming, get me up, and I true with so much confidence, and that's amazing. I really do appreciate that. The reason why I'm asking this question is I know you've not been seeing me on YouTube, but by the end of this month, I will be in everybody's faces on YouTube. So I don't like to just post to post. I want to strategize on what we had fun to people, right? Someone says trading has become more defined, and I'm happy for that. Honestly, even if that's what you can get from me, to understand that trading doesn't have to be a gamble avenue, right? But you can make it so defined and all of that. It's really a very big honor. Someone said, the bootcamp 4.0 has really helped me progress more in my trading journey. And I appreciate that, right? I appreciate that. And the goal of the bootcamp is to create something that everyone can access and you don't have any excuse. And if you study it really well and apply it, to the T, it's really gonna help you. It's really gonna help you. It's really gonna help. But something bigger than bootcamp is coming. I probably may not do bootcamp again. So anything bootcamp related, as far as it concerns value, and I'm trying to bring out value from my mouth to share, I'm gonna do it in there. Someone said I've been able to cancel out the noise in the market and sit and simplify. Also ask the right question. I love that. I love the last part where you said ask the right questions. You see, let me tell you guys something, right? Some people text me, I don't respond because you are not asking the right questions. And I'm very busy, right? I can't waste time even try to help you to ask questions. You see, the more knowledge you have, the better you are able to ask the right questions. The more understanding you start to develop in trading, you can ask the right question. Your why will be so deep. I'm talking of whys, that why is this happening? And the better questions you can ask in trading, the better answers you can get and the better discovery you will get, right? So knowing that my content can help you ask the right question is a win for me, because this is the point where you get to before you get that big breakthrough. Yeah, I can tell. It has given me patience and a balanced psychology, someone said, treating it like a form of investment and mitigating risk. Yeah, like I always say, trading can either be a gamble or a business. Your approach to it is what define what it's going to be to you. So I love the fact that patient balanced psychology and treating like a form of investment, beautiful. Someone said, honestly, your YouTube video on market structure changes everything for me and gave me clarity on how market structure works. I love that. I think that is one of my most viewed video ever. I'm going to drop some content going forward that, we have a bigger impact on that. I have a lot cooking, right? There's a market structure 2.0, in fact, 3.0 and 4.0. Just so you know. So I love this. I appreciate you. It's an honor. Marvelous says the bootcamp is amazing because I got new information about trading. So please don't cancel the bootcamp because I noticed there are always new information in the bootcamp. I really do appreciate this, right? The reason why I might cancel the bootcamp is because whatever I want to do next, it's as the bootcamp all inclusive in it. So it's gonna be amazing. Trust me, you guys heard it here first. And if you're watching this, if I'm not working on something that is worth it, I won't say it. Someone says, boss, how do I put all the idea into a single daily approach to the market? Sometimes I feel like I know all this technique and it is become random in my head. And that is exactly what Forex does. Having a knowledge is different from understanding. Okay. I know that this is a car. It's different from having the knowledge of driving a car, right? And that is the gap. The gap between you are familiar with this and how can I use these things to bring out results? That is where mentorship is. That is where knowledge is used. And you don't really, I won't say that's where mentorship is per se. I would say that is where you figuring it out is. Because I know this position you are very well. I've been there before. There's nothing new. There was nothing new nobody could tell me at the time. But how do I bring this together to make money? Because that's the end goal. If your knowledge is not making money, it's not yet a knowledge. Do you get? So there are different phases of knowledge. There's a knowledge of knowing. There's a knowledge of understanding. So the understanding part is what brings everything together under one umbrella, and then you create it into a workflow, right? And I think that's something I do for my students with trading class. So David said it has made me calm even when the market is noisy. I really do appreciate that. My goal is to create mature trader, regardless of the level you are right now. I know some of my students are big boys right now. They don't even respond to my messages. I'm joking. But some of them are making, I know a lady that made $20,000, right? And to see how she started and where she is right now is so amazing. And she's doing $20,000 on a trade right now. The last time I checked it, she did another 20 plus, right? And I know people that are doing 30 grand, like very easy, right? On a trade. And they are not even trading GJ. That's the crazy thing. They take whatever I'm teaching them, they apply it to the pair of their choice and it's working. And that's why I say I teach universal strategy. It is your choice to pick the pair you want to trade. Prince Thomas says, your teaching has transformed me in so many ways. I'm now more patient in taking trades. Wow. I now put stop loss in my trades and my trading psychology has changed positively. I really do appreciate this, and it's a very big honor, honestly, that you now put your stop loss in your trade and your trade psychology has changed positively. I really do appreciate that, and I hope you keep that up. Someone said Nelson says it has helped me to trade with precision and clarity. I love that. That's what I'm in for. I know what I want to see when I get in the market, and if I don't see that, I'm off the chart. Thank you for that, sir. I love that. If what I do not want to see or what I want to see is not on the chart, why am I in the market? If it's raining fire outside, why do I want to go out? So you recognize at the end of the day that there are two types of traders. The one that chase candlesticks, and candlestick will give you a lot of emotional roller coaster, or the ones that understand patterns. And if that pattern is not there, they are not in the charts. But I can tell you for a fact, as someone who has been a professional candlestick chaser, candlestick puzzler, right, to a pattern finder, I can tell you, you would never get it wrong trading patterns. Life is patterns. Economy is patterns. Every event that happens is a pattern, right? So you will never get it wrong trading patterns. Just let me end it that way. Pattern brings consistency. It brings repetition. It brings sustainability. And that is what it is. All right. Thank you guys for, all this great, uh, you know, uh, review. And, it really helps me to kind of also know what to do, how I can come in to help, and I appreciate that. And you're going to get a lot of, crazy contents coming in. Like my content is going to be focused on teaching more these days. It's not even going to be, oh, this is what I did on this trade. No, none of that. Like I really would teach, and just hope to help people. And, just if you're still finding it hard, you can book a one-on-one session with me. I think that's the most premium part of what I do. You will never have a one-on-one session with me and not be profitable. It's not possible, and if you're, really the type that you know what you're doing, but it's hard. Like the person that said putting together, I recommend you get the freedom course. In fact, from the first chapter, it will bring everything together because I kind of, for everyone who have been through my course, some of you are here, you see the workflow of how I broke down the different phases of trading, right? That means a workflow of what you should do. So when you know what you need to do right now, what you're looking for right now, then the next thing you're looking for and what you need to do, the next thing you're waiting for, it becomes so easy. So thank you guys so much. Just decided to spend time with you guys, and it's already 12 a.m. my time. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. When you finally take profits, you can share with me as well. Don't share your money with me. Just let me know that, you hit your take profit anyways. So says, thank you so much, Mr. Emilio. Your teacher has helped me a lot. That and that is the reason I'm grateful for you. Have a wonderful day. You too. Thank you so much. Can I send you email? I can't send you Telegram. Yeah, just send me email. Anyone. That'll be good. All right. Have a wonderful rest of your day, guys. And have a wonderful rest of your night. For people who are in the nights, I'll talk to you guys later, and have a wonderful rest of your week. God bless everyone here. And bye.